Thanks for watching FILMBuFF, really, honestly. It's fucking great.
Oh, hello. How's it going, guys? My name is FILMBuFF. Alright, man. This is it. This is the finale. Episode 5 in this 5-episode marathon. It's been quite the day. It's been fun. It's been so fun. So I'm excited, man. This is it. Finally get to catch up on Season 2 right before Season 3 airs. Now, I'm not sure if these episodes are going to end up out there anytime soon, but at least I'm caught up, right? At least I'm caught up after this. Before I go any further, I need to thank all the amazing patrons. Thank you so much, man. Honestly, I appreciate it so much. You guys are super cool. Just, you know, the real deal for sticking around. And I hope you enjoyed the early access and the full-length reactions. Super happy I could share those. And a reminder to anyone else, if you would like early access, or full-length reactions, check out my Patreon. I know I'm caught up on Season 2, so the full-length is going to apply to Season 3, and also my next anime, right? Once I'm caught up on Season 3, I'm going to pick a new anime, and that's going to be done through a Patreon poll, and there are a few in mind that I would like to do at first, so I'll probably put those 4 or 5 in the poll at first to get a show out of that. But yeah, man, I'm excited. So, you know, the early access and full length applies to the next anime. Quite a bit happened in episode 11. It set it up nicely for this final chapter here. Especially, you know, that ending of that smiling Titan somehow showing up in this location. Somehow, Eren and perhaps Hannes might get a chance at retribution and redemption. So I'm excited. Let's do it. Okay, is he gonna... Hannes! Oh no. He's gonna fight it this time. A shot at redemption, but... Go on, Historia. Come on, Hannes. Get that redemption. Oh, I love this track in the background. Oh, he healed. Can't do it. Shit. No. Hannes, come. Not again, not again. That was a shot I saw from his dream. Is this it? She finally gonna tell him?
ありがとう。
She's gonna kiss him. Oh.
そんなもん何度でも巻いてやる。
But first,
もうずっと俺が何度でも。
did Eren just? He just did that.
あいつが
Like, I don't know if he meant to do it, but like, he did something and
だからライナーたちは必死こいてエレンを
yeah, it was Eren.
だとすりゃこの壁の中に未来がある。
来るんじゃねえ。てめえらぶっ殺してやる。
Yo. Reiner, run. Get out of here.
ベルトルト
Live to fight another day. Get out. No.
おいブス何やってんだ。早く帰るぞ。
ユミル、どこ行くの？
よせ。
でもユミルが。
ユミル、なんで俺たちのところに来た。
ああ、そりゃ私がバカだからだな。
Because you're a fucking champ.
ってやってんだよ。手ぶらじゃお前ら帰ってくれねえだろ。
ユミル。
お前らがこの壁を壊しに来なければ、私はずっと覚めない夢を見てたんだ。私はただその時借りたものを返してるだけだよ。お前たちの境遇を知ってるのは私だけだしな。
ありがとう、ユミル。すまない。
いいや。女神様もそんなに悪い気分じゃないね。
Look at this squad right here, man.
入れ。
でも帰りには損害がなかった。巨人が僕らを無視してライナーたちに向かい続けていったからだ。
Eren, man, he's got some insane abilities.
ことがあるんだけど、あの時巨人たちにそうさせたのはエレンじゃないの。
It's you, Eren.
もちろんただの推測だ。だがそうでも言わなきゃあの状況は説明できねえ。
That's a game changer.
辛い立場だろうがな、エレン。死んだ人たちを生かすか殺すかは お前次第なんじゃねえのか。その代償に見合う価値がお前にあるのか。
今回出現した巨人の正体がラガコ村の住人。
つまり巨人の正体は人間であると。
まだ確証はないけど。
That had to be difficult for Connie, man.
エレビ、
お前何を笑ってやがる。
何でもないさ。我々はまた一歩真実に近づいたというわけだ。だが確実な一歩だ。我々はいずれ必ず突き破る。真実を隠している壁を。
Oh. Who the fuck was that? I've never seen him before. Blonde. So it is a human operator. Or shifter. The Beast Titan. This blonde, bearded man. Okay, so there it is, man. Season 2 of Attack on Titan. Finally done. So yeah, man, next up is season 3, so that's exciting. I don't know how long it's gonna be before all 5 of these are out, but at least I'm caught up before season 3 starts airing. Alright, okay, so the final shot of season 2 is the Beast Titan himself. Not just the Beast Titan, but the Titan shifter in the Beast Titan. The Beast Titan's been quite elusive this season. I've seen him just a few times, sprinkled across the season. He was like the major thing in episode 1. How do you forget that? And then he showed up in episode 4, I believe, at Utgard Castle. 4 or 5, one of those. 4. It was 4. And then shows up right here at the end. I do hope this is a sign of things to come, to end it off on the Beast Titan. That's, ending a season off, that's quite the crucial scene, isn't it? The final scene of any season, of any show. So I hope this is a precursor to the next season, meaning I might see the Beast Titan or this Titan Shifter much more, much more screen time, and actually learn about them. Let's get into it. So the Beast Titan is on top of Maria, right? And on top of the Beast Titan is this man, this blonde bearded man. And, it's clear that this is the Titan Shifter, because I saw Ymir do the same thing. It exited the body, she exited the body of her Titan so she could talk to Historia, right? So same thing's happening here. He exited that spot, but the Beast Titan body is still intact, right? So he can just get back in. Again, that's really handy, to have that ability. But yeah, so he's on top there, right? He's scoping something out, and I believe the line is, not yet, eh? So perhaps he's on the lookout for Reiner and Bertolt. Perhaps he's there to receive them, right? But it seems like they didn't show up, and he's just looking out for them right now. Because, this is the morning, right? This is the morning after. And it doesn't look like they've made contact yet. Because I did see Reiner, Bertolt, and Ymir the night before on top of Maria. I'm guessing it had to be Maria, yeah. Because if it's on top of Rose, they're gonna be spotted, right? So they made it there the night before, but it looks like they're off already. Like they took off. Okay, so the Titan Shifter himself. Let's talk about him. This is someone new. It's definitely not someone I've seen before, and it simply had to be someone new, a new character introduction, because this person did not recognize the ODM gear in episode 1. That also means that the ODM gear is unique just to these soldiers. They clearly don't have it in his hometown, his home place. So his look, his blonde hair, his beard really stood out. He seems to be in amazing shape. Perhaps he trains a lot, or he trains others. Perhaps these child soldiers. He is someone Reiner and Bertolt, answered to, apparently. Or they know about him. They know that this is someone important. But that being said, I remember Annie's flashbacks. It was her father training her, right? So I don't know. He just seems to be in amazing shape. And the one thing that really stood out, his glasses, really similar to Grisha's glasses. And they made a point of highlighting those glasses, unless they just don't want to show his eyes at that point. Now, see, the thing I have to keep in mind is that this man might not actually look his age. He could be much, much older. Going back to Ymir, who happens to be 60 plus years old, but it doesn't show because the aging process is stopped. Her physical form is much younger than her actual age. And then the next question becomes, could he be related? Could he have any connection to the characters I already know? He's got blonde hair, he's got a blonde beard, so I immediately start thinking of all the blonde characters. Armin, Annie, Commander Smith. I do believe in season 1 I was told that Armin's parents have died. They died. Again, that's what I was told. Is that the truth? I have to take it for now. I have to that's what they told me, so let's keep on that. Annie's parents, now I know they showed her dad, so this guy definitely can't be her dad. And then there's Commander Smith. Now see, Commander Smith, there is something else that happened right before, close to the scene. I'm still thinking about it, and I'll get into it, but that scene of him just smiling and like that look on his face. There was something about it. That getting this news, I don't know, man. There's something about that look. And you can see he was kind of caught off guard once Levi kind of sees it and kind of calls him out on it. He just brushed it off as, oh, it's nothing, and he just moved on to his next point. But I think that there is something about that. In fact, let's talk about that. Basically, it's a crucial moment in the story of Attack on Titan. It's a monumental moment because they find out, Pixis, Levi, Commander Smith, they find out that the Titans are actually humans. Now, they still don't know the origins of these Titans and how this came to be. This serum and just the Titans in general, how any of this came to be. But at least now they know that it's humans. And before I go any further, how cool is it to see Levi, Commander Smith, and Pixis in the same room? I just thought that was really cool. Pixis I haven't seen much of, and Levi had that injury, and I guess that's a choice the writer had to make because they focused a lot on some of these other characters this season, and there's only 12 episodes, so I guess they kind of had to sideline Levi for that reason, so they could focus on some of these other characters. A really difficult moment for Connie, because he basically finally had to accept it that indeed that was his mom back there, and that his father and his siblings, they all turned into Titans. And I feel like deep inside he knew this, but he didn't want to accept it, and fair enough, right? Like that's his family, that's his entire family, man. And that shot of him outside, teary eyes, looking at the photo of his parents, it's a sad moment, man. So for me it was quite sad to see him go through that, because I like him, he's such a likable character, and it seems like he's got unfinished business now. Him and the Beast Titan, he's got, the Beast Titan took his family, his entire family, man, and they're dead. So he's got unfinished business. Personally, I would love to see Connie have a role in the next season, like stay in the focus, alongside all these other characters. But see, again, I don't know if that's gonna happen. because he did get a lot of screen time in this season. So I would like to see much more of Connie, especially knowing that he has unfinished business. But I'm not sure if it's going to happen. Now, moving back upstairs, let's look at the contrasting reactions of Levi and Commander Smith to the news that the Titans are humans all along, or have been humans all along. Yeah, there's quite the contrast here, right? Levi was quite shocked, okay? You see his eyes open up. He's got this look of disbelief in his face as Commander Smith said it. So to him, it's quite a shock. And you can see he's quite annoyed that this whole time he's been going around like a madman killing humans. And annoyed as in, of course, he doesn't want to kill humans, right? How are others going to react to this news? Because it's going to get out. Everyone's going to know about it. It's not like they're trying to hide it, though. Connie knows, so I'm sure the others are going to know as well. The knowledge that this whole time they've been killing humans. And they have to basically continue to do so, right? So let's see how that plays out. And also it's going to start a conversation, right? Among the characters and the big players of how this is happening or has happened, right? How are they turning into Titans? That's like the big question, the origins of the Titans. Now, I don't think I'm going to be getting an answer to that anytime soon. That's the big mystery, right? Though there are hints, especially in that ending. But that being said, I do think there are some that probably know, right? There's a lot of stuff that's kind of like people know much more than they've shown me. The one thing this show does is that people hide in plain sight, and important people could be hiding in plain sight, and at some point they kind of show themselves to be important or know important information. Prime example of this is Ymir from season 1. Off the radar, I thought she's just another background character. Didn't care one bit for her. In fact, she was actually really shitty, right? And that's because I had no context at that point. Jump to season 2, totally different person, right? Because now they told me more about her, right? Now I have information about her, and that she does have this rich backstory, this crazy journey, and that she knows a lot, right? But you couldn't tell that in season 1, But the point I'm trying to make is that there still might be characters I know of, right now, that haven't been fully fleshed out yet, right? Maybe season 3 might be their moment. Maybe further beyond that, it might be their moment. You know what I mean? So that could totally happen. I could totally see someone else pop out that knows stuff. So that's another exciting thing that might happen in season 3. Someone else might, get the limelight, just like Ymir and Historia did this season. Now let's jump to the commander's reaction to this. This is interesting, man, because you could see that it puzzled Levi, perhaps even unsettled Levi, because the commander, that's not the type of reaction Levi's expecting. The commander's got this smile on his face and this expression on his face. He's just off on, thinking his own thing at that point. So the commander had this look of relief on his face, a hopeful look, a look that suggests that this confirmation makes it so something is possible, or something still might be possible. That's how I read it. The feeling I get is there's something more to it, more than he's letting on, but because come on, that scene, there is something about that scene, his reaction to that, so this news, I think it means much more to Commander Smith on a personal level, I think, more so than the whole humanity is getting answers now. I think this news also has some personal effect on him. Then he kind of brushes it off. He's like, oh, it's nothing. And then he kind of, gets back into the zone, and he says something really interesting, something that has a lot of layers. So I believe he said, one day we'll break through this wall, hiding the truth. And for starters, the truth is outside, right? It has become abundantly clear that there's a big world out there, right? But the people in here are in the dark about it, right? They don't know about this, about everything else that's going on outside. They believe they are the last of humanity. And that doesn't apply to everyone in there, because of course there are people in there that know about the outside. but the majority of humanity inside, in this location at least, think they're the last of it, right? So they're in the dark about it, you know. So it's quite the symbolic statement for a lot of reasons, because indeed these walls are hiding the truth. You know, going back to episode 1, first ever episode of the show, I believe Eren said something about feeling like they're trapped animals, like birds in a cage. And also, if you think about it literally, there are indeed secrets inside the walls. Those titans, right? Again, nothing came out of that after episode 1, right? That was the big thing, the post-credit scene of season 1, and then episode 1 of this season, they kind of it was a big deal, but then nothing really came out of it. But you know, again, I have to remember, all of this happened over the span of a few days. You know, it's easy to feel like maybe it's been like a month or something, right? But it's only been a few days. And also, I think he's implying that one day there might not be a need for any of this. You know, there might not be a need to be caged in like birds. There might not be a need for these walls, right? And of course, there's a figurative aspect. You know, the walls of secrets that keep them from the truth. They still need to know about the origins. They still need to know who's sending these titans or who's making these titans. You know, I'm hoping there's much more of Commander Smith in season 3. Much more. I'll probably talk about this a little bit later. Once I talk about my favorite characters. This is probably a point I'm gonna make. But you know, Commander Smith, I need more substance. You know, yes, he's been amazing, right? In these final 2 episodes, he's had his amazing moments. That's a proper commander. That is a commander people die for. Soldiers die for and follow. And yeah, he was absolutely badass out there. But for me personally, I need a little bit more substance, you know? I need more backstory. I need more focus on him. I feel like No Regrets probably did the best job of doing that, you know, giving me more of Commander Smith. And you know, I saw a lot of this in season 1, you know, him scheming and, you know, setting up traps so he could get anyone on, you know, one of the spies to chase them, draw them out. More of that, please, in season 3. Just give me more backstory, give me more of Commander Smith. I think that's the one thing keeping him from being one of my favorites, one of my, you know, absolute favorites. I like him a lot, but I couldn't say that he's in my top 3. And then of course there's that scene of Armin, Mikasa, Jean, and Eren, much like season 1. Remember at the end of season 1, they're in the room and it's the same 4, right? So I like that. You know, it's kind of like the same group. They made it out. Again, it's only been 2 days. I keep forgetting that, but Eren is upset that because of him, because of this rescue mission, a lot of scouts died. You know, a substantial loss apparently, and this is because he got taken, right? And this is becoming a bit of a thing now, isn't it? You know, he got taken by Annie. I mean, the whole point was to keep him from their clutches, right? To keep him safe. And the Levi squad, that was their main goal. You know, make sure he doesn't die. You know, look out for him. And of course, you know, Levi squad got decimated, and he took him, right? So that's the first time he got taken. You know, luckily they got him back because Levi happened to be on the scene alongside Mikasa, so they got him back. And then season 2, he got taken by Annie's partners, right? The Armored and the Colossal, Reiner and Bertolt. So he got taken again there. And to get him back, they had substantial losses. The commander lost his arm. But, you know, I feel like this is becoming a thing. And it might continue into season 3 because they're going to come for him. Like, they're not just going to give up, you know. Especially now that it's confirmed he has this coordinate ability. The ability to control all titans. That is insane. That is massive. Right? So they're going to come for him. Someone else is going to come for him. They're going to try again to get him. So yeah, I'm totally expecting more attempts to kidnap him and take him. But that is going to become much more difficult now given his newfound ability. Again, he doesn't have control over that just yet. He's going to have to learn how to control it and how to bring it out. But he does have it. So let's see if that's going to be a roadblock in terms of kidnapping Eren. That being said, others did think that it was Eren who did this. Jean and Armin both, they said they discussed it and they came to the conclusion that it had to be Eren who did this, because he said on the way back, all the Titans ignored them, right? And they all chased Reiner and Bertolt, or the Armored Titan. So that's strange for them. That must have been so strange that they're riding through and these Titans are just not even giving them a second thought. They're just running by. So imagine that, years of just fighting them, and all of a sudden they don't even know you're there anymore, right? So this coordinate ability, it's probably gonna have a major role to play in season 3, I'm guessing. And once again, Jean laid it out for Eren. He doesn't sugarcoat it. This is really similar to season 1, around episodes 14 or 15. I think episode 15, around the time they all became scouts officially, right? And at the end of that, it's all of them together, and Jean is, he's got this emotional talk about how all of this hinges on you, Eren, like how you make use of this ability. All of our lives are in your hands. I remember that scene. It was a powerful scene. This is more of the same here. And he laid it out. It all depends on you. Your actions from this point on are going to justify if they died for something or if they died for nothing, right? He laid it out to him, man. And of course Eren agreed. He agreed. And Eren, he actually laid out a few plans. He said he's going to learn to control this ability. He's going to control the Titans. He's going to go plug the hole in Maria, and that's huge. If that happens, that's massive. Because that could help them take it back, get all that land back. But of course, you would have to clear up all the Titans inside Maria. But still, major step. That would be a major step. I don't know if it's going to happen, if it's going to be that easy, but, let's see how it plays out. But he also said he wants to go after Reiner and capture him and make him pay for all of this. So I don't know if that's going to happen. That might be a bit too much to hope for in terms of Eren's, list. Because who knows, because Reiner and Bertolt are long gone. If he wants to go get them, he's going to have to go outside. He's going to have to take this crusade outside of Maria. And then he goes into that scene, fantastic scene. It's kind of like, it leads up to that final shot of the Beast Titan. But yeah, it's these sweeping shots going across Cinna, Rose, and Maria, and it's showing all the major players, the scouts, and there's that fantastic track in the background. I just love that track. That track is probably one of my favorites, man, because especially like the first half of that track. That played out a few times this season. Just now, it played for Connie. As Connie's looked at the picture, that again, I don't know the name of the track, but that, oh my god, that music is so it's an emotional tone, but it gives you goosebumps, man. It gives me goosebumps. It played as he looked at the photo of his parents. It also played in episode 11 during Bertolt's emotional cry for help. I believe right at the moment he goes, "Somebody please find us." And then also played during Sasha's fight against the Titan. She's thinking of it, and there's a shot, it's like the black background, and the little girl's kind of running off in slow motion, and that music's playing. So I just love that. That part of the song is amazing, and even this ending part of the song, or this track, is just amazing, man. I'll talk more about the music a little bit later on. Oh, and also before I go to the top of the episode, they showed bit of a little callback to No Regrets, Easter egg. They showed the underground city from that special. From that fantastic special, man. I still go back and check out scenes from that. So just like the season 1 finale, I have a lot to say. So this is going to end up being a long one. I'm going to try to keep it as structured as possible, because a lot of times as I'm talking about one point, a light bulb goes off, right? And it kind of sends me off on a tangent, and I kind of have to take that tangent, or else I'm just going to lose my train of thought. So there might be a bit of that, but I am going to try to keep it kind of structured. Let's see how it all goes. Okay, so that episode, it begins in the middle of absolute chaos. It kind of picks up right at the end of episode 11. Reiner is tossing Titans. The commander's out there. One-armed commander is out there, just telling them, reminding them that getting Eren back is the most important thing of all, and that I can be replaced. But yeah, man, that's a leader of men. That is a proper commander, someone who is ready to risk it all for the cause, and the cause being getting Eren back safely. That's the only thing he cares about at this point. He made it clear that's the goal here: get Eren and retreat. And the first point I'm going to talk about is Ymir and Historia. Ymir is in a tricky situation. She's at a crossroads. She has to make a choice now, and you can see the struggle in her face. But her decision mainly depends on Historia's safety, right? And how safe she's gonna be if I make this choice, or how safe she's gonna be if I make that choice. If I leave her here, or if I hand her over or go along, because that's all she really cares about. Historia. She cares so much for her and her safety, and make the best choice in protecting her. And this is followed up by a great scene, man. A great scene. Historia comes in and she starts asking Ymir for her reasoning. Now I think Historia knows the reasoning. She just had that talk. Connie and Sasha, of all people, kind of cleared it up for her. She knows that it's probably to protect her, right? That Ymir is doing this to protect her. But she kind of wants to hear from her. She's trying to get Ymir to open up about her stance, her feelings, and her reasoning behind all of this. And you can see Ymir is still finding it difficult to kind of let it out. And you saw in my reaction, I'm just like, Ymir, tell her, come on, let's go, get it out. And then Historia reminds her of something Ymir told her, stop living for other people. From now on, let's just live for ourselves and nobody else. And I thought that was a great moment, that Historia, it's kind of, the tables have turned, and now Historia's kind of telling her about all of this, right? And, it really does show you how much Historia has grown over the span of this season, I guess over the span of 2 days in the season. And she also basically said that being around her gives her something. It makes it so she's not afraid of anything. So, being around Ymir, being, this connection she has to Ymir has brought something out of her, right? And that set up oh my god, probably one of my favorite scenes of this season, man. Just such a fantastic scene. Historia leads the attack, and that background track kicks in. Oh, let me tell you, man, the hype was flowing through me, and I'm sure you can see that in my reaction. It was just such a fun scene, man. Such a cool scene. Such a hype scene, right? She kicks off the attack, and that scene of her, that animation of her gliding through, oh my god, beautiful. So graceful, beautifully animated. That was like Historia's moment right there. And the background track itself, fantastic. In terms of the lyrics, I only caught the one part. It was right at the beginning, something about getting back. So that's another song or track that I kind of have to look up once I'm done this. I have to look up the lyrics, because I'm sure there might be interesting lyrics to that. Much like that Ymir flashback. And then it transitions to Hannes swinging in and fighting the Smiling Titan. Once again, the hype is flowing, man. And beautiful music and editing and imagery can really do that. It can really get a reaction out of people, and that's exactly what happened here, man. I just absolutely love this scene. So I saw Hannes trying his thing, and that made me excited for Hannes, and so I was pumped up. Unfortunately, it didn't really end like that, but more of that later. And and then it cuts to Eren asking Mikasa to cut him loose, and the track is still playing in the background. And this actually made me quite emotional, because he said, it's got to be me, this one's mine. And that just made me think of episode 1 again, and his mom dying, so early on. Yeah, man, it just made me emotional to think of the situation now, man. Finally, they get a chance. Eren gets a chance, and Eren is gonna fight alongside Hannes to possibly take out this Titan, or so I thought. And as perfectly as that scene built up, that song in the background, and creating that hype and just that hope. It came to a crashing end, the moment he bites into his hand, and the song cuts off because nothing happened. He is not able to transform. And the moment that happened, man, I started thinking of that possibility. because now Hannes is left fighting this Titan by himself. And I believe he couldn't transform because his body just hadn't recovered yet. It just hadn't adequately recovered yet. So yeah, man, Reiner wasn't bullshitting. Eren's body at this point is still healing. It's still recovering. You know, hence the inability to transform at this crucial moment. At this moment, man. And I do think the same applies to Bertolt, because Bertolt did not transform into the Colossal throughout this, chase. And since he was a Colossal in episode 6, and that comes from the fact that the Colossal is colossal, right? It's massive, so the healing time is probably quite high. That being said, I don't think, him transforming into the Colossal is going to really do much for them, right? Because the Colossal, in that situation, in a chase, it's not going to be that useful, right? Because it's quite slow. He's going to have Titans all over him. At this point, it's a race against time before the inevitable happens, and history repeats itself. And one of the most devastating things to happen in the whole show happens. The thing I was dreading since episode 9, the Hunters, right? The death flag, the major death flag for Hannes. He's back in the spotlight. I was dreading this, and I was hoping it doesn't go down like this. Hannes put up a fight, but he ends up getting grabbed. And the interesting thing here is that it's a carbon copy. It's shot for shot, the same thing, man. It's the same imagery, same shots. Eren's mother getting grabbed. It's the same shot of Hannes getting grabbed now. So I thought it was quite interesting. It really emphasized that, this is happening all over again. In terms of Eren, he is seeing this play out just like it happened to his mom. He's now seen this twice. This smiling Titan has now killed 2 people he cares for, and he feels absolutely useless, right? I'll go into that scene in a bit, but to see that twice, man, holy shit. And you can see in his reaction how it affected him. And it's crazy that this made me so sad to see Hannes die, man. I knew, like, a few episodes ago it became clear that Hannes is probably gonna die, yet as it happened I got incredibly sad, man. Probably the most sad I've been throughout the show, man, alongside Ymir almost dying. That all being said, I don't think Hannes died for nothing. I kept going on about, please don't let him die before getting some redemption in the build up to this episode. But I don't think he died. I don't think he died for nothing. For starters, this time he had the courage to face his Titan, right? Going all the way back to episode 1, he just didn't have the courage. He couldn't do it, man. He couldn't face his fear. This time he faced his fear. And that reminds me, he openly admitted to Eren that, the reason they didn't stay and fight, the reason he didn't stay and fight is because he didn't have the courage. And I believe he's crying at this point as he's telling Eren, because I remember Eren freaking out and just smacking Hannes as they're trying to run away. Again, him facing his fear and finally having the courage to face his Titan kept the Titan off Eren and Mikasa, especially because Eren couldn't transform, so he would have been useless at that point. So if Hannes isn't keeping him busy, it's possible that both Eren and Mikasa could have died there. And again, I think Hannes died keeping his promise to Eren's mom, to keep them safe. He died trying, right? But yeah, that led to a complete mental breakdown. Eren felt absolutely useless. He was hopeless, as he stated himself. But it's a type of laughter that only comes from that really strong sense of anger and sadness, it's like a self-loathing type of crying laughter. He's kind of mocking himself. He's laughing at himself at how useless he is. And it really emphasized his pain and desperation in that moment. And I think that's a huge credit to the voice actor for Eren. Amazing, man. That was quite incredible. And you really do feel his pain in that moment, because he legitimately feels like nothing's changed. He's still at square one. He spent all his time trying to fight the Titans, but at the end of the day, that's twice now. His 2 loved ones have died. Of course, he had no control over the first one. He couldn't do anything, even if he likes to think he could. At that point, as a kid, he's not going to do anything to protect his mom. And there's that really sad moment of him saying, Mom, nothing's changed. I can't change anything. Again, incredible scene, man. Incredible scene, a powerful scene. And the one person that was able to get him out of this is Mikasa. Mikasa, man. And in that moment, Mikasa finally let it all out. And I think that's because in that moment, she believed that they're about to die. Because, at this moment in time, Eren is not able to transform, and she is injured, so, this is the moment to do it. Might not have much longer. Let me tell him, So she really took her time to, open up about her feelings for him. She told him that you showed me how to live with purpose. And, I think it goes all the way back to that scene of him rescuing her from the traffickers, right? And that scene always stands out for me because that was kind of like the birth of Mikasa, right? Before that and after that, it's a totally different type of Mikasa. And I think that he helped unlock that purpose in that moment. And they made a big deal of that. I still remember that scene. Around that time they kept showing like these scenes of this inner, I remember calling it chemical imbalance. That's what the scene looked like. But interestingly, there was the surge of electricity, right? That was a thing they kept showing. That happened again in this episode. I'm not sure if it's exactly the same thing. I'm gonna jump a little bit further on, but as Eren's coordinate ability kicked in, that surge of electricity, you see that kind of, you see that Reiner felt it, Bertolt felt it, Ymir felt it, all of them felt it. So I don't know if there's any connection at all there. I'm not saying Mikasa's a Titan because no, let's not do that. But it was similar, I thought. As Mikasa kind of leans in for the kiss, it really looked like she is going for that final, perhaps a goodbye kiss before they end up dying. In that moment, I think Eren realized, is she opening up about this? Is she coming out about all of this because she thinks she's about to die? And that kind of changed Eren in that moment. And I think he stopped her because he knew he had to protect her. Because at this moment in time, she thinks they're about to die. And in that moment, the focus goes to Mikasa. His focus is on Mikasa now and to get her out of here safely. And, it was quite fantastic to see Eren in this role, this role of protector. Because time and time again, it's Mikasa who's looking out for Eren. She's made it her mission, her life mission to be by his side at all times. Because she cares so much for him. She wants to protect him because she has the ability to do that, right? So I thought it was fantastic that now it's Eren's turn to be there for Mikasa. And I think hearing all these things from Mikasa really put things into perspective for him. It brought him out of his mental breakdown. He started thinking of her. The focus is on her now. And I thought that beautifully tied into that opening flashback, and I think that's the reason they showed this flashback. Once again, his mom telling him to show restraint, to change his mentality because he has to be there for Mikasa. He has to care for Mikasa. And indeed, from that point on, the only thing that mattered is Mikasa. He put the focus on Mikasa and making sure that he gets her out of here safely. And I believe he said, I'll wrap this scarf around you as many times as you want, now and forever, right? And he tries to inspire Mikasa to survive this with him, and they're going to get out of this situation. And I think the fact that he said that, about the scarf, it really acknowledged her feelings. I think he, it's not like he brushed them off. No, not at all. I think he acknowledged it. That scarf, it represents so much. It means so much to Mikasa. And the fact that Eren said that is a big deal. It's a massive deal. And then that amazing moment, that showstopper of a moment. In his human form, he goes for that punch. And, that shot of him making contact. His punch to the hand. At first I was puzzled. I'm like, huh? I'm like, okay, how's this possible? And then all of a sudden, it kicked in. This coordinate ability kicked in. In that moment you see the Titan back off, and all of a sudden it kicks in, right? And I spoke of this electrical surge that kind of goes through Bertolt, Reiner, and Ymir. And yeah, man, he just kind of goes all out. That one Titan just goes flying over his head. And yeah, they all pile up on that smiling Titan, man. And finally some retribution. This smiling Titan that's caused so much pain and sadness finally gets it. Now, at the end of the day, it's a Titan. It's mindless. It's only doing what all these other Titans are doing, right? It's just grabbing humans on sight and killing them. So on one end, it's like it doesn't really even know that it killed someone significant to Eren, But on the other hand, of course, if it has to feel incredible to see that, for Eren to see that this Titan is getting ripped apart, in that sense, yeah, it means a lot to see that happen. But yeah, it looks like Reiner and Bertolt finally found their coordinate, right? That was the mission, but that being said, there's no chance in hell they're gonna complete that mission, right? It became really clear really fast that there's no chance they're gonna be able to take Eren and this coordinate ability back to their hometown, complete their mission, or back to the Beast Titan and complete their mission. That was not gonna happen. It became really clear that Bertolt and Reiner have to get the hell out of here real quick. And of course, this coordinate ability is a game changer. Of course, it simply is, because it gives him the ability to potentially control all Titans. I say potentially because he's just not finding out about it, so it's going to take some time to, to master it, to learn about it. Because I do think at this point in time it came out of him, but you can see by his reactions that he doesn't know how it happened, but something happened, he tapped into it, and it got triggered, and it's out now. But, that's insane. It completely changes everything if he is able to control them as he pleases. For this, they had one Titan on their side, and that one Titan is Eren. Now, because of Eren and this ability, they might have the potential of an army of Titans on their side, so that really changes things dramatically. But that being said, it is a little risky because Eren is known to be a bit of a loose cannon, and I have seen him kind of dip into that dark place, that sadistic trance he kind of goes into sometimes. So, so say he loses control in his Titan form, and then this ability kicks in and he kind of sets the Titans off on the wrong person by accident. That could be like the risky aspect of this, if he ever loses control. As Eren and Mikasa are trying to escape, he literally sets the Titans on Reiner just by thinking that he's gonna kill them, and it's that easy, it's that quick. So in that moment in time, I knew Reiner simply has to just get out of there, get Bertolt out of there, live to fight another day, right? And thankfully, they did. They got out. And it's clear that these other Titan shifters, Ymir, Reiner, Bertolt, they all felt that. They, the moment he tapped into it, they felt that. That electrical surge kind of kicks in. But it appears that since they're Titan shifters, they couldn't really be controlled. But they definitely felt it. They felt it kick in, and you can see how annoyed and frustrated Reiner was about this, because he knew Eren is the worst possible candidate for this coordinate ability, because since episode 1, it's been established that Eren hates the Titans, man. His goal in life is to exterminate them, right? He hates them, and Reiner knows this, and he knows for this ability to fall into his hands it's bad. It's bad for their side, or the people that sent them. But yeah, man, he's been hell-bent. He's been on this crusade to exterminate these Titans. And ironically, this incredible ability to control said Titans is at his disposal, man. So, I remember in season 1, I was like, ironically, he became the one thing he hates most. He is a Titan himself. But then slowly he learned to use those abilities, that gift, to fight the Titans. And now it's progressed even more, and he has this ability to control them, right? And one of the more exciting and intriguing things here is that he probably received this ability from his father. It got shifted, because of course, episode 10 brought up that insane possibility that he might have eaten his father, and that's how he got his shifting ability. So that also means that this ability might have been passed on from Grisha. That means Grisha had the coordinate ability before Eren. Then of course the question becomes, how the hell did Grisha get it? And then that makes me excited about Grisha's past, So I hope season 3 has more of that, of how Grisha got any of this and how he was a Titan shifter. Okay, so going back to the coordinate ability, I'm trying to think of how come it happened now at this moment in time. I mean, in terms of the episode and like the situation, of course, it's the perfect timing, for this ability to come out and like that scene play out. But I'm trying to think, there's got to be more to it, right? I mean, there's got to be a reason it happened now at this moment. So I'm trying to think about anything special about this situation that triggered it. He made contact, right? For the first time, he touched that smiling Titan. Did that have anything to do with it? I don't know, I'm just trying to think of different possibilities. That's the first time he's touched that Titan. Did that contact have something to do with it? Did it trigger something? To me, that's the one thing that's kind of really, in my mind right now. How come it happened now? Is there a reason it happened now on this battlefield? Other than obviously it just being, a big moment. So I'm not done with this coordinate just yet. I've got some questions and some thoughts. So it's clear that this is rare. This ability is one of a kind. There's perhaps only one coordinate, right? So much so that it's been Reiner and Bertolt and Annie's mission to bring the coordinate back. And just like the Titan shifting ability, it is something that probably has been passed down from person to person. But then again, the question becomes, who is supposed to have this ability, right? And that brings into the question the people that sent Reiner, Bertolt, and Annie. Who sent them, man? That's one of the major questions at this point. Who is supposed to have this ability? Of course, Eren has it at this moment in time. And again, I theorize that perhaps he got it from Grisha because, of course, to become a time shifter, he had to eat his father, right? That was a big theory that came out of episode 10. And does that mean at that point in time, I mentioned this, does that mean Grisha had the coordinate ability at that time, so he got it from somewhere? But it's clear he wasn't supposed to have it, I think, because the whole mission was to retrieve this coordinate. It belongs to someone else, but somehow Grisha had it, and he passed it on to Eren, I think. The evidence is there though, there's a lot of hints leading to that conclusion. But yeah, man, recently the one thing that really came out of all of this is that I need to know so much more about Grisha. Before this, up until recently again, I just, he wasn't in my mind. Like, I just didn't even think about him, mainly because I just felt that he'll make an appearance again at some point. He'll come back into the story. So I knew that he might be up to something mysterious, that that's really secretive, and he got caught, and he's caught, stuck behind enemy lines. But I never thought it's gonna be something like this. Again, episode 10 changed it, man. It changed everything. But it also made it clear that I need to know so much about Grisha, man. See, I made that point earlier, right? There's characters I know of that might end up having some insane backstories, some crazy possibilities. Ymir, again, the prime example of this. She ended up being someone incredibly different from my original take on her. So here, maybe Grisha's the next candidate for this. So, perhaps Grisha's gonna end up being this next person that I get to hear about and get to see some of his backstory, hopefully. And if I'm on the right track, his backstory has to be absolutely just incredible, because he, as of this point, I'm saying that he used to be a time shifter. That is how Eren became a time shifter. And not only that, he also had this coordinate ability, so he was a special kind of Titan shifter. So Grisha, I need to know so much more about Grisha, man. That's the key here. So the ability itself is quite interesting, and it really puts the notion of hierarchy on it. And once again, that takes me to the end credits. The final scene in particular, the final shot, showing some level of hierarchy, right? It showed the humans at the bottom. It showed the mindless Titans above them. Ironically, those are humans, right? They used to be humans at some point, but and above the mindless Titans are the Titan shifters. Once again, 2 males and a female, and above them, right at the top, is this goddess-like figure. And I believe perhaps that could be the coordinate. Maybe that's the implication here. That there needs to be a level of control. There needs to be an order to things. So at this point, a lot of it has to be speculation, because there just isn't enough information about the coordinate. That being said, there's one piece of information, one crucial connection that I did get in a few episodes ago. Historia is connected to this somehow. Reiner said that having Historia could be useful, and it could be important in locating this coordinate ability, or finding it if Eren doesn't end up being the coordinate. Now, it's not like Historia has equipment, special equipment to, locate this coordinate. It's being implied that she might have some kind of ability, some kind of sense. And, Reiner seemed quite sure of this. And Reiner knows that she's important. in the family of the church. He said it in that same scene. But, you know, I don't think Historia knows this. She doesn't know that she might have this ability to locate this coordinate, you know. But, you know, it's been quite clear that she is nobility. You know, they confirmed that. That much is for sure. And she's important to the family of the church. But, you know, I've been asking the question, could she be a descendant of that king in those end credits? You know, and I keep linking the Titan shifting ability to, you know, nobility, and that it's exclusive and unique, and you know, something only they have access to, and then it's passed down from generation to generation. Hence the, you know, the consuming, the cannibalistic rituals, you know, passing on those abilities. Could she be of that bloodline, of that lineage? Is that the connection that makes her important in terms of finding this coordinate ability, or in terms of being able to locate it, or having the sense of locating it? And yeah, once again, you know, the important question also becomes, who sent Reiner, Bertolt, and Annie to get all this back, you know, to retrieve this coordinate? You know, that was the mission all along. You know, because yeah, they broke in, right? In episode 1 they broke in and they caused all of this, a lot of death and this chaos, but I think the point is that that was used as a distraction to get in, so they could focus on the main mission, and the main mission being, you know, get on the inside, locate this coordinate, bring it back. All that being said, they failed the mission. The mission is to bring the coordinate back. They cannot bring it back. It's impossible at this point to bring it back, in this attempt at least. So they failed that mission, and they just barely made it out, man. Those Titans, you know, Eren set them off on Reiner, so they barely made it out, only because my girl Ymir jumped in to help them. And that in itself, the fact that she jumped in to save them, that's incredible. That's amazing. You know, it kind of came full circle. She is showing that she can care for others again. Of course, there could be another reason for that, but you know, I do think she felt, you know, and she even said it later on, that she understands the situation they're in. She understands it, and I think she can kind of sympathize. I feel like she is sympathizing here a little bit. So I thought it was incredible. You know, it came full circle. This is not the Ymir from season 1. And, you know, I say that there's a lot of growth because she's also able to, you know, she's also able to admit that indeed, that she owes them. She feels like she owes them, you know, because if it wasn't for them, she would still be out there stuck in that prison of flesh, man. That nightmare. So she feels like she owes them a lot. She sympathizes, you know, and if it wasn't because of them, she would not have this amazing second chance at life, and, you know, becoming a changed person again after meeting Historia and everything else that followed, man. So she said she just wants to return something she borrowed back then. I most definitely hope not, because that means she would have to die. You know, she has to be consumed for this ability to be passed on to the next Titan shifter. That raises another possibility, another question, another concern. If they had taken Eren, if the mission was successful, Eren had to be consumed, right? He simply had to be consumed by a Titan, so this ability could be passed on, or this coordinate ability and the Titan shifting ability could be passed on. But mainly the coordinate ability, right? That's the main thing. Is unless they could extract it somehow, you know, maybe they have other things they could do to extract it. But the concept of cannibalizing to pass on these abilities has been quite present, you know, throughout this season, or the possibility of it at least. And again, the end credits, you know, it's kind of hard to miss, you know, the whole concept of cannibalizing to perhaps gain abilities, to gain these super rare and unique abilities. But yeah, you know, these past few episodes, there's been this internal struggle for Ymir. You know, she's trying to figure out how to best help Historia. You know, she's been jumping back and forth. At one point, she's ready to go. Then she's like, is it maybe better to stay here? But she was finally able to make the decision to leave Historia here. Now she has reason to believe that there is a future for Historia in here. And, you know, this basically comes out of the fact that she saw Eren has this incredible ability. A game changer, right? She knows this. It's a game changer. And the possibilities that come of this are incredible. So, you know, she finally got her answer. She could rest easy. She realized, okay, maybe she could be safe in here. But yeah, man, that moment, you know, it's a heartbreaking moment. You know, it's a beautiful moment, because this whole season I've been, you know, I became really attached to both these characters, and just them being together, just this story in itself, this connection, it's really endearing. So it was a little bit heartbreaking. It's a sad thing to see that she had to say goodbye, because I just don't know if they're gonna see each other again. I most definitely hope so. You know, that'd be fantastic, but I just don't know if it's gonna happen, because right now, you know, she left and she's going back. Who knows what's gonna happen to Ymir? I hope she doesn't die. I hope they can reunite at some point somehow. But at this point, it seems I just don't see how, you know, or at least anytime soon. The actual, you know, goodbye itself, oh, beautiful moment, man, beautiful moment. The music again, you know, music's just incredible. Like, I keep saying it, but like, it's just incredible. And you know, that shot of Ymir, Titan Ymir caressing Historia's hair, and that shot of them, you know, from the side, powerful shot, man. It's a beautiful shot. It really had that Beauty and the Beast feel about it, right? A Titan and human caring for each other. In fact, that shot is identical to the shot in the end credits, the opening shot of the end credits. Remember, I thought that was First Contact, you know, so that shot in the end credits, it looks like it's, you know, a Titan and a human. So yeah, you know, the parallel there is incredible. And also, I do think there might be a few other reasons for Ymir leaving at this point as well, because, you know, now that this rescue mission has come to its conclusion, the focus goes to Ymir. You know, she's going to become a person of interest. Now they're going to have questions for her. So the focus is going to be on her. So she can't have that. She had to, you know, get out before that happens. And also maybe she can help Historia from the outside. You know, keep an eye out on things. Take in all the information she can get. And see if that these people are a threat to Historia. And perhaps an extension, some of the other people. You know, the 104th and the Scouts. Maybe she cares for them a bit as well. I don't know for sure, but I know for a fact that she cares for Historia, though, right? And yeah, man, I think after that, it's just that shot of them retreating, you know, and Mikasa, there's that really cute shot of Mikasa, you know, she's like hugging Eren on that horse. She's like clutching onto him. And that beautiful moment, oh man, that beautiful moment of, you know, the throwback moment of young Eren, Armin, and Mikasa and Hannes. Beautiful moment. Okay, so that's a discussion, but it's not done just yet. Now I've got a few more things to talk about. First up, things I would like to see in season 3. You know, answers I need, things I hope they focus on. First on my list is the Beast Titan and the Titan Shifter. Who is he? You know, like, that's a big question. Is he significant to anyone I know in the show already? Who does he represent? I know Reiner and Bertold know him. So I know he's some kind of high-ranking official or some kind of general. You know, Ymir even joked about him being some kind of legend, you know, given how Reiner and Bertold are looking at him. But again, you know, who does he represent? And who sent them here? Who sent them on the mission? And this, you know, plays into my next point. I need backstories. I need Reiner, Bertold, and Annie's backstory. You know, these are characters I like. These are characters I find intriguing, and I need more info on their past. I need to see how they got into this mess. Bertold confirmed that they did not, you know, choose to do this. This is not by choice. So there's something going on here, and I would love to see more of this elusive hometown they keep speaking of. And in addition to that, Annie. I think it's time to reintroduce Annie. You know, she sat this season out. Again, it's only been 2 days in terms of the show itself. You know, surely they're not going to make her spend another season, you know, just in that crystal enclosure. I would love to see Annie get reintroduced into season 3, into the mix again, you know? I don't know how that's going to happen. Who knows how that's going to happen, but I would like to see it. I would love to see Annie back into the mix and see how her story plays out from that point on. And, you know, sticking on backstories, Historia, another character I need a backstory for and more information on. Again, there, you know, I've been given a lot of information on her in terms of her background. I know she's nobility. I know she's important to the family of the church. I personally believe that she actually might be a descendant of this king. You know, I've been talking about this for throughout the season now. There is something special about her. Of course, you know, Reiner said that she could help them locate or find this coordinate. So there is something about her. And if I'm speaking of Historia, Ymir goes hand in hand. I'm most definitely excited to see how that storyline plays out. A little bit concerned because she is going back, and as of this point, she said she wants to return this shifting ability. I hope not. Again, I said that earlier, but I hope not, because that means she's gonna have to die if he returns it. And I touched up on this a little bit, but I know maybe season 3 is too early for them to reunite. But my hope is that at some point, in the next few seasons, hopefully that they do reunite if they both stay alive. You know, that's my big concern at this point. But I do hope they get to meet each other again. Next up, I need much more screen time for Levi and Commander Smith. I need the focus to go on them again. Now, of course, you know, Levi sat out because that injury. You know, by taking that approach that he's injured and he has to sit this out there, you know, they were able to focus on different characters. You know, and I love that they focused on these other characters, but I think it is time now. I'm more than ready to see Levi come back into the mix. You know, Commander Smith had 2 amazing episodes right at the end there. Perhaps one of the most badass moments of the whole series. That moment of his arm getting chomped, and as he's, you know, being taken, he's just like, you know, charge. He's telling them to keep going. Just insane, you know, badass moment. But honestly speaking, I need more substance, you know, and for that to happen, I need much more screen time. I need the focus to be on him a lot, hopefully. You know, I got some of Levi's backstory in No Regrets. I would love to see some of the Commander's backstory in season 3. And also, you know, right at the end there, that reaction to finding out that these Titans are humans all along, you know, the reaction to it, you know, that smile, that look of relief almost, that look of being hopeful. I need to know what that's about. Something's going on there, man. Something is going on there. So I think learning about his past might give me some answers. And again, staying on backstories, Grisha. Again, I simply need to know. He has a potential to have some insane backstory, right? It simply has to be. The hints are there. You know, episode 10 shed some light on a devastating possibility, a possibility that feels logical based on the information I was given. You know, I need that big answer. I need a yes or no, man. Did Eren eat his father to become a Titan shifter? I'm pretty certain I might be on the right track, but a confirmation is still key, right? I still need to know for sure. And if indeed that is the case, how the fuck did Grisha become a Titan shifter? Not only just a Titan shifter, but a shifter that had this coordinate ability, this mythical, unique, rare coordinate ability. How did he acquire this? And speaking of Grisha, could I finally see the basement in Shiganshina? You know, I've really cooled down on that a bit because I thought at first maybe they're going to show me in season 1, and then in season 2 it became a little bit more clear that it's actually a pretty big thing. You know, he told Eren that the secrets of the Titans are down there. You know, perhaps the origins of the Titans are down there in that basement. So they might not actually show me that for some time. You know, maybe not season 3. Maybe that might be in the final season. You know, so I've really cooled down on that a bit now. Next thing I would love to see is the world outside. You know, let's leave Maria. Now, I don't mean, you know, for all of them to leave, but I think it's time I finally get to see more of it. You know, I saw a glimpse of it in Ymir's flashback. I know the Titan shifter and the Beast Titan comes from outside, and you know, he was hanging out at Utgard Castle. He's hiding out there. He brought these rations, that can of herring. You need to have access to the coast to be able to catch herring, and it's canned, so they have infrastructure in place to can food. So there's all kinds of crazy shit going on out there. Actually, not even crazy, normal things going on out there. It was more than just a glimpse in Ymir's flashback, because they actually confirmed it. They showed me a completely different place, you know, full of people. So I'm excited, man. I hope, I know maybe it's too early for the first half of the season to, you know, start showing me stuff from the outside again, but I think it is a possibility maybe in the second half of the season. You know, and that reminds me, all that time ago in season 1, there's that scene, I think it's a flashback scene of Armin showing Eren a book. You know, it's this book, and apparently it's illegal to have that book. You know, it had information on all the amazing things that are outside and that are out there, but all these people are being kept in the dark about it. And, you know, I loved how I think Armin said that it would be amazing if they could travel together and, you know, go to these places. Armin told him about the ocean. He told him about, like, ice, like a land of ice. And that reminds me, in Ymir's rebirth, that scene, she's in the desert, you know, in that dream state, that limbo state, but she's lucid at this point. She's in the desert, so, you know, maybe that's indicative of her hometown or the area she's close by, right? The desert. You can see the infrastructure of her hometown it was really different. It definitely felt like a totally different place, man. And again, I have to remember that she was out there for 60 years. 60 years. So who knows how long she's been traveling and how long she's been just roaming out there, right? So that could have been some really far off place. So exciting, you know, that kind of thing is really exciting. Okay, so moving on to favorite moments, man. Before I go any further, one of the main stars, once again, of the show is the music. Brilliant music, incredible music. I think it stepped up a notch from season 1. There's so many tracks that I loved in this season. But the thing is, I can't really, you know, specify them at this point because I don't know the names. But, you know, one of my goals is to listen to the whole track again and know the names of these songs so I can, you know, maybe further down the line I can talk about them and specify the names. There's a lot of them, man. There's some incredible music in this. The music really makes a lot of these scenes incredible. Once again, I'm gonna go ahead and say episode 1 is one of my favorite moments of the season because, oh my god, man, again, it's not a low-key episode, right? It just kicks off and so much came out of that, man. That jaw-dropping introduction to the Beast Titan, man. Now, I before getting to season 2, I did check out Ilse's notebook and I heard that Titan speak. But I was still shocked and amazed to see this Titan speak because there was a difference, man. This Titan, it wasn't just randomly saying a few things, you know, like the one in Ilse's notebook. This Titan had full control over speech, and, you know, I remember it being so jarring. And the fact that he had control over smaller Titans, but look at that, right? So there are other Titans that have control, but, you know, it's clear that the coordinate might be something really special, though, you know? Maybe the Beast Titan only has control over the ones he turns. And of course, I got those end credits, man. The first time I got to see them. And those end credits have played a major part throughout the season for me. You know, I keep going back to them. I keep referring to them. I keep trying to, you know, draw from them. So another favorite thing about this season is the focus on supporting cast. The supporting cast. So the next favorite thing about this season is the focus that they had on some of the supporting cast, you know. Ymir, Historia, Connie, Sasha, Reiner, Bertolt, they had a major focus on those characters, man. And, you know, by the end of it, 4 of them ended up being major players in the story. You know, I absolutely love that episode of Sasha, you know, rescuing that girl and her past. You know, that moment she fought a Titan one-on-one. Love the focus on Connie. Like I said, he's such a lovable character, man. I hope I get to see him much more in season 3. It sucked to see him go through losing his family like that, but, you know, and he does have unfinished business, man. That, you know, that Beast Titan, the Titan Shifter, he took his family, man. Basically, he took his family. He killed them. So he's got unfinished business. I don't know if he's gonna jump another level in terms of the focus they put on him. But I would love to see him. I would love to see him in season 3, you know. And Sasha as well, you know. I hope they don't just cast them aside now after focusing on them in season 2. That goes into my next favorite thing, episodes 4 and 5. I absolutely love these 2 episodes, man. I just love the setting, you know, at Utgard Castle. I love this little group. You know, the secrets, the answers that came out of these episodes. I figured out the Colossal in episode 4. That was a big moment for me. You know, it became clear that someone from the outside had stayed here, and that was a Titan Shifter from the Beast Titan. You know, there was hints dropped about Ymir definitely being from the outside. You know, Ymir being confirmed as a Titan Shifter. You know, a lot of good moments, a lot of really memorable moments came out of that 2-episode stretch. The flashback to the Snowy Mountains, you know, Historia and Ymir, I love that episode. And, you know, in the second half of the episode, one of my favorite moments of the whole series, Ymir, you know, that build-up, incredible build-up to Ymir finally jumping off. The music in the background, holy shit. I believe that's the same track they used for Reiner and Bertolt in the next episode 6, right? In the big moment of them finally showing themselves to be the Reiner, the Colossal and the Armored. You know, Ymir's thoughts as she's jumping off, incredible moment, man. It was also one of the first times I really teared up over any character of the show. And again, ironically, it was Ymir, someone I had no connection to at all in season 1. And then, of course, episode 6, and that big moment, right? That big moment, the Armored and the Colossal confirmed. And I absolutely loved how this was handled. Leading up to it, I figured out who had to be the Armored and the Colossal. But this still got me, man. This actually shocked me. I love that it was such an unorthodox and unique approach to it. I love the delivery. And then, you know, the fight that followed in episode 7, another favorite moment, because it was engaging, man. It was so engaging. Next up, episode 10. That is perhaps my favorite episode of the season. I'm not saying it's the best, but I'm saying it's my favorite. Mainly because of the things that came out of it, man. Finally, I was asking for a Ymir backstory for so long. You know, I was anticipating it, and it did not disappoint, man. I got that incredible backstory and that rebirth scene, just incredible. And I got so many hints and substantial information out of that episode. Stuff that really changed things, man. Stuff that allowed me to connect the dots for some of the biggest mysteries of the show, I think. You know, the devastating possibility that Eren might have eaten Grisha, and that is how he became a shifter himself. And, you know, that was one of the major things that came out of this episode. It kind of confirmed that you have to consume a Titan shifter to become a Titan shifter yourself. That was the whole reason Ymir was able to turn back, because she consumed Marcel, who was a Titan shifter. And to me, it also confirmed that Ymir is best girl. Simply. Episode 11 gave me a few favorite moments. You know, first of all, that moment on top of the Armored Titan, you know, the reunion, the 104th reunion. I thought that was such a fantastic moment. You know, I mentioned in that discussion that there's such an endearing group of people. And I like all of them, man. And then there's that emotional cry for help from Bertolt. So I really love that. I got confirmation that they're not doing this by choice. You know, Bertolt said it. Also, Commander Smith being an absolute demon. You know, that's what the military police guy called him. I'm just gonna call him that too. Being an absolute demon. You know, that insane moment of him getting grabbed by the Titan, but he doesn't give a shit. He just tells him to keep going, man. So crazy moment. And also I got that scene of Armin, you know, tapping into that dark place, able to give up his humanity, you know, and showing that he can do what needs to be done. You know, and there's a lot of fun moments in the finale. You know, Eren's coordinate ability kicking in, that whole scene and everything that followed, fantastic. You know, Ymir's goodbye, and you know, the fact that she rescued Reiner and Bertolt, and then on top of Maria, just, you know, that scene of her kind of reaching to the stars and the tears kind of coming out. I thought that was a great moment, man. One of my favorite moments. Okay, so last thing, let's talk about the characters, man. Some of my favorite characters. Now, before I get into it, you know, Levi. I said Levi's one of my favorites, right? At the end of season 1. He had to sit out the season, of course, because of the injury, but that doesn't mean that he's fallen off all of a sudden. I still think he's an incredible character, and he's still in my list. And that being said, these are not ranked. You know, I'm not ranking them from like 1 to 10 or anything. That'd be too difficult. But the only rank there is my absolute favorite character of the show. After that, it's like just a few of my favorites. No rankings. And the same thing applies to Jean. You know, he's one of my favorites, but he kind of sat out this season. Doesn't change anything. He's still one of my favorites. As of this point, my favorite character of the show is Ymir. There's no doubt about it. And I think it's insane that she's become my favorite character of the show. She goes from a character that I simply do not care about, because at that point in time, in season 1, there's nothing to care about. She's just a background character. And then becoming my favorite character of the show after season 2. She's such an incredible and layered character, man. Her story is, I just absolutely love her story. It really captured my attention, and I really connected, man. You know, I just love that she used to be this outcast, this lone wolf. And then through another really unique person, Historia, you know, she's able to open up again, you know, and start to care for people again, especially her, Historia. But I just loved her journey, man. But yeah, man, I just simply absolutely adore everything about Ymir. She is best girl. Simple as that. Next up is Eren. You know, Eren really climbed the ranks, man. He shot up quite a bit. I was able to, you know, connect to him much more. Especially in these final few episodes. You know, that finale really made me appreciate him much more. Seeing him struggle like that, you know, that mental breakdown, and then turning it around and realizing that he has to protect Mikasa, he has to care for others, just like his mom told him to. And, you know, and then his potential past and these, you know, abilities, the shifting abilities and how he got them. All of this really, you know, really piqued my interest in Eren again. And before I go any further, you know, I like all the characters in this show, but there are some that stand out more than others, right? But yeah, you know, Eren, you know, he's shot up that list. So I'm excited to see how his story plays out. He is a coordinate, right? So everything's going to be based around Eren again. So I'm excited. I'm actually really excited to see Eren in season 3. Reiner and Bertolt, I like them. I cannot lie. You know, I'm intrigued by them. I'm intrigued by their past. You know, I said, you know, Reiner was one of my favorites in season 1. But again, you know, a few things changed. and that was like Soldier Reiner. That was a different persona. But yeah, man, I'm excited to see how this story plays out. Of course, Armin is still up there, one of my favorites. I saw more growth. I have great expectations for Armin going into the next season and beyond. I've made the point a few times now that I could see all the qualities of being a commander or being in a high position at some point. And Commander Smith, of course, Commander Smith is in there. Again, like I said, he sat out most of that season, but he showed up right at the end. He had those amazing moments. But like I said a few times, I just need a little bit more substance. I need more backstory. I just need to get to know him more. I really enjoyed Commander Smith in No Regrets. I enjoyed him in Season 1. Didn't get enough of him in Season 2. But I do hope in Season 3 I get to see much more of him. He's one of the characters I would love to know more about. Historia. She's become one of the most interesting characters of the show. One of the most intriguing. Much like Ymir, her story took off in Season 2. And, she seems to be quite the important person. Again, that nobility aspect, perhaps some kind of descendant of the king. Maybe she'll become even more crucial in the next season. So I'm excited to see more of her. And then, of course, there's Mikasa. I like her. Like I said, I like all the characters. But again, I cannot say that she's one of my absolute favorites. But I do like her. She's one of the characters that I would love to see more of. Just like Commander Smith, I need more substance. I would love to see a bit more of a focus on her. I really enjoyed episode 9, The Hunters, because it focused on her feelings a lot, right? I felt like I got her in that episode. So more of that kind of stuff, more substance. I know she's an absolute badass, and she's one of the best fighters they have. So yes, much more of Mikasa in Season 3, and I think that about does it. That's it. That's Season 2 of Attack on Titan. I can honestly say that I enjoyed every single episode. I was able to get something out of every single episode, something exciting, something intriguing out of every single episode. I'm not bullshitting. I actually enjoyed every single episode. Yeah, it had a little bit of everything, man. And of course, super excited for Season 3. I'm happy that I can finally be caught up, and maybe I can be on the same page as you guys. But yeah, man, if you enjoyed it, please smash that thumbs up, leave your comments, let me know what you guys thought. A huge thank you to all the amazing patrons. Thank you so much for your support. Thank you for sticking around. I really do appreciate it. You guys are the real deal. I hope you enjoyed the full episode reactions. And yeah, that continues to Season 3, the full episode reactions, and the next anime. And I'll pick the next anime once I'm caught up on Season 3. I'll do like a Patreon poll. There's a few that I have in mind at first. I would love to get to those first. But yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited to start another anime. And also a huge thank you to all the amazing mods, man. There's 4 of you. Thank you so much, man. I really do appreciate it. Yeah, for a show like this, something that's so popular, the spoilers play a major part. So, thank you so much for, keeping me spoiler free, as much as possible. And I'll be needing you in Season 3, so, thank you ahead of time for that. Yeah, man, that's Season 2. I'm excited. It's done. I'm excited I get to move on to Season 3. So yeah, join me for Season 3 once that hits my channel. And yeah, thanks for checking that out. Take it easy.